And welcome to the show. My name is Naeem Sharif, and we have Brother Benjamin Shabazz. Brother Benjamin, would you please open us with a short dua?
Yes, sir. My
Open in
pleasure,
prayer.
my brother. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ameen.
Ameen.
So, you gonna start us off by giving us the theme of this show?
Well, it has many themes. One of the themes, my family went to New York City, and the main reason we went there was for the New York City Comic-Con. So we had some different experience. One of the things that we'll talk about is Malcolm Shabazz Masjid. That'll be one of the things, and that whole area there in Harlem. Another area we're going to talk about is Black Heroes Matter. I have the Black Heroes Matter t-shirt. We're going to be talking about superheroes. And then we're also going to be talking about Muslims in comic books and illustrators. And the title of that part is Salam, Nerds, and Geeks. So we're going to have several different pictures come on the monitor, and I'll talk about that, and you can ask me some questions about that. So if they'll just put some pictures on the monitor, and I don't know what order they're going to come in, but we'll just talk about those things.
All right, let's go.
Okay, rock and roll.
That's it.
Okay, so this was at the New York City Comic-Con, and if you know anything about Comic-Con, it's where some of the things of it is people dressed up in different costumes, superheroes, Superman, Batman, Black Panther, and so forth. But this one, if you remember the movie Coming to America, this is Prince Akeem when he was at he was working at McDowell's, not McDonald's, but McDowell's. So this gentleman here, if you look at him, you say, wow, he looks just like him. I mean, people, they dress seriously for these things. And I just happened to see him, and I said, man, we take a picture. He didn't work there. He was just one of the people that came to Comic-Con dressed in a costume. I just asked somebody to take a picture, and they took a picture. So that's me and Prince Akeem. Prince Akeem with Naeem, you know.
So he looks just like Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it looks like Eddie Murphy. So, I mean, you know, it was fun. And I want to say this now, and I might say it at the end of the show. I want to thank the New York City Police Department and New York City Fire Department. You know, you felt safe. We got there one day early, and the sergeant or the lieutenant was giving out the commands for the day, what to do, you know, just like in the military and everything. But it was just interesting. So I want to give a shout out because, you know, we do have issues with police, you know, across the country. But I think they should be commended when they do a good job. So the people felt safe. I know I felt safe. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
All right. So we'll see what the next picture is. And we'll just kind of go from there. Okay, so this is a lady. She was in a Black Panther costume. And so I saw her. So I got to get a picture with her. And if you look at her costume, I mean, hers is lit up. She had like those little light up lights on her.
Oh, she has a vibranium suit on.
There you go. She got the vibranium suit on, you know. So I saw her, and I just, you know, asked people to, you know, take a picture. You know, if you ask people, you know, the people are real kind, and you know, they want you to take your picture, you know. So that was me with her. And okay, yeah, so you know who this guy is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, who's this guy?
That's Battling Ben. That's the thing.
No, that's not the thing, man.
Oh, wait a minute. That's Thanos?
That's Thanos.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just figured that out.
So I told him, I said I was going to kick his butt for, you know, all the stuff that he did, you know, in this last movie. I'm not going to spoil it because I know how you guys do on the movie review. You guys do a thing on the movie review. But yeah, that's Thanos. So I just switched between his ear. I said, I'm going to kick your you know what, you know. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, and then we just smiled afterwards, you know. It was just a fun time, you know. Yeah, it was good. So. Yeah, you just see all kind of people, you know, there. Okay, so this picture here, so that's the Black Panther, of course, and that's me in the middle and Captain America. So, you know, they're superheroes, Black Panther and Captain America, but the real superhero is in the middle, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the t-shirt I had, Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That's a real superhero.
Right.
So, you know, it's fun to make believe. And you kind of need some release in this environment that we're in today, just to have some kind of release and, to have some hope. That's just like the series. I've always liked Star Trek because I saw African American people and people of color in the future. So I said, well, yeah, we did make it to the future. So as one of the themes go, Black heroes matter. Young African American kids, they need to see these different type of heroes that look like them. And it's just how different societies started. I think Rome started on a myth. It was two wolves, And so off of that mythology,
It was two sons,
two
brothers.
were raised by wolves. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were raised by wolves. And so that mythology helped them to develop a society. It wasn't true, but the mythology carried them on and so forth. Just like with the superheroes, hey, I can aspire to be something.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun, getting those pictures. And I say, and what I found out, when you see somebody that you want to take a picture, do it when you can, because you might not see them again.
Yeah.
Now, this next picture is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was very interesting. We got to see him 2 times. So I'm thinking that the first time that we saw him, he was talking, and it was his birthday was coming up the next day there, or I think, at the Comic-Con. So he gave a timeline that when he was born, it was the same time that NASA started. The National Aeronautics Space Administration started it started July 29th, 1958. And that's when Neil deGrasse Tyson was born. So he kind of gave a timeline, what was happening in NASA and what was happening in his life. And he just, he would go, so many years, 5 years, 10 years, and blah, blah, blah. So, and it was he gave what was happening at NASA during the Civil Rights Movement. He talked about that, how he first got interested in science. His father got him a telescope. He talked about that. Then again, I'm just going to go back. He talked about the civil rights, what was happening, where, a lot of African Americans couldn't get into these science programs. They wouldn't let them in. Good story on that was Hidden Figures. Who knew? We had never heard about this. These black women who doing these complex mathematical equations to get, the space program going where they could get a man to the moon and up in space. And so, did you ever hear about that coming up?
Never.
Had you heard about it recently before the movie?
No.
Yeah. So these were the things that he talked about. And then near the end, he got, because he's a scientist and everything, but he got real emotional about this whole thing that was happening to him and what was happening in NASA and what was going on with, race relations and the whole bit. I mean, on TV, we'd never seen that side of him. So it was really worthwhile. Then we saw him again speak a few days later.
Well, what's happening to him in NASA?
Well, I can't remember it all, but it was just the correlation with the civil rights movement and him just growing up. The two things, all this stuff was happening. It was, things that was happening in his life, the challenges he had to go through being an African-American man. I'll just cut it short, an African-American man in America, trying to be a scientist.
Right.
So yeah, he was very good, very good. So yeah, that was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Did you get his autograph?
Couldn't get close to him, but if I'd have got close to him, I'd have got a picture or something. Right. So this is, you know who this is.
Yes, I do.
Who's that?
That's your wife. That's the queen.
Yeah, that's the queen.
Yeah.
But then who's that to the? Yeah, you can see it really good there.
That's whatchamacallit.
Yeah, whatchamacallit. That's John Leguizamo.
Yeah,
I don't mess up his name.
Yeah,
That's why I was hoping you would say it, because I
yeah.
wouldn't mess up his name. So they have what they call a Comic-Con, and even in, I know this is in New York City, but in Seattle they have what they call Artist Alley. And if you go online, earlier you see who's going to be there, and they kind of tell you what spot. They might be in A, 1, AA2, something like that, and then row F, and et cetera, et cetera. And then also you get a book that you can see that. But if you pre-plan, you kind of know who you want to see. You might want to see a illustrator. Illustrator would be one who draws the comics and everything. And then you might want to see a writer. So you kind of know beforehand. You got a game plan. Okay, I want to see X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm just walking down each aisle, and there was like, I don't know, maybe 12, 10 aisles or something. I walked all the way down and walked back. And so happened to see him. I said, wait a minute, that's John. So then what you had to do, you had to buy either his book or a comic book, and he would autograph it, and you could take a picture with him. It cost you $30 or $50 if you brought the book, whatever. I said, this is once in a lifetime, so I went on and got it. So he took the picture and so forth and so on, and that was pretty good. I did tell him one thing. People, say you do good work, and he does good work. I just told him, I said, and this is something that a few years ago, I just told him, I said, hey man, I worry about you because you're so hyper. Just how Robin Williams, remember Robin Williams? He was so hyper. And so I just told him, I said, man, I don't know what exactly, I just said, I'm concerned about you. I said, I pray for you that, because you're so hyper, kind of pace yourself. So, that's just what I felt. Sometimes you feel something. If you don't say something, man, why not tell a guy, hey, man, and basically I said, just take care of yourself. Now, I'm just a regular guy. I have no influence, but, you just hope sometimes somebody takes heed to that because, you're so, you know how that goes and with, how that happened with Robin Williams and stuff. So that's what I said. I don't know if it makes any difference or if I should have said it, but I felt that I should have said it because if I hadn't.
So you said it. It's done.
It's done. It's done. Because if I hadn't said it, something happened. Oh, I should have said something.
Yeah, you might have saved his life or something.
I mean, but anyway, so it's just you never know who you're going to meet there. So let's see what else we got. Okay, so this is now you know who that is, Ben. What's in the background? So you got to see.
Is that who that is?
That is.
Man.
How you pronounce it? Taimak. Last Dragon, the Last Dragon.
Taimak?
Taimak, yeah. So that was Taimak. So I didn't know he was there. Maybe if I had looked online or in the book. So I'm walking down, I see him. So it's like, okay. So the same thing was if he had a picture and a book, and if you got one of those, he would sign it, and you get to take a picture for like $20 or $50. So I got the picture in the book. I don't know if I ever see him again, but I just read the little bit of. He just was talking, and
can they bring that up closer?
It's good, man. It's good. You can turn around.
Right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's so I talked to him briefly. I just said, hey man, you never hear about the good people. Now, if you've done something wrong, you'd be out in the news a lot. But I got his book. I just read it one page, but he's been through a lot. He talked about how he was after the movie, some of the things he did. He was good friends with Eddie Murphy for a while and everything. But it's just an interesting story. And like I said, I just happened to walk down the aisle and saw him, didn't know he was going to be there. And like I said, when you see these people, you got to take it there. Because I remember one time I was at a Star Trek convention, and I just went there because I like Star Trek and looking at stuff. And the woman who played on Lassie, the mom, remember her? I forget it, June Lockhart. Mm-hmm. So she was there. So she had a picture of Guy Williams, and it was because they played on Lost in Space back in the day, that old Lost in Space. So she was there. So she had a picture of Guy Williams. He didn't sign it Guy Williams, his regular name. He signed it Zorro, because he played Zorro back in the day. And so I don't know how much she wanted for it, but I thought it was too much. But I should have got it. So I remember from then on, if you see something and you don't think you'll ever see it again, to get it. So I don't know if she would have $20 back in there. It might have been 20 years ago. But I should have got it. So when you see it, get it. But yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we'll see what the next picture we got. Okay, and this was me with a person who was Spider-Man. So, and he got his little arm out doing the web slinger thing and everything. And just a regular person in the costume, just asked him. So I think his wife or girlfriend took the picture, and he was good about it, and it was just fun. It wasn't it was just, yeah, people were real nice, yeah. So yeah, that was me and Spidey. So that was fun, yeah. And then, yeah, so there's another picture of it, the same picture there. So yeah, that was fun, a lot of fun. Now this is was the Salam Nerds and Geeks Workshop, Islam, Fandom, Comics, and Pop Culture. So this was a workshop of Muslims who were comic book writers and also illustrators. And it was well attended. And you know how we have the image of Muslims, all with, has been, the whole terrorist thing and backward and all this kind of thing. But these are things, if you go to and the general public learns more about, you get a better understanding who these people are. And it was fun. So they'll show another clip on that. But it was fun to just talk to the Muslim comic book writers and illustrators. So this is one of the comic book heroes, and his name is Barak. And he is a Muslim superhero who is strong, and of course, he can fly. So this is something good for the general public, good role model, and also for the Muslim children to look at something that, there it is right there.
So where is he? Is he in America? Is he overseas?
I know he's overseas. I don't know if he'll be here in America. I'm sure you can go somewhere and get it. I didn't have a chance to talk to the people afterwards. I just took some pictures, and I think I had from there try to go to another workshop. But it was a really inspiring workshop, and just to know that there are Muslim illustrators who draw. And now this is the panel there of the Salam Nerds and Geeks, and these were Muslim brothers and sisters there. The one sister there who has the tie on that you can see that has a short sleeve, she's from Saudi Arabia.
Which one?
The one with the short sleeve shirt, and she has a tie on.
Okay.
Okay, so she's from Saudi Arabia. Then I forget where the other people are from. The sister who is in the red hijab, all red in the background, she's an American Muslim. All the other ones, I believe, are from different countries. The sister in the middle, I think she's from America also. But they all had unique stories, talk about Muslim heroes and illustrators. And they did, we had some video on that where they were talking, but we just had some technical difficulties on that. But okay, so here's the Muslim sisters in their costumes. So the one on, I don't know if it's going to be on the people's far left, but people who know comic books, that's Ghost Rider there in the kind of the orange. And then the person next to that sister there is Thor. And then there's some other people there that are from the Guardian of the Galaxy. So they got their hijab on and they got their costumes on.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So they were serious. I just, they let me take their picture and everything, and they were cool, and they were all in it, But it was fun because, Muslim women, they can't do anything, they just have to stand behind their guy and
stay in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, stay in a hole and all that kind of old crazy stupid stuff. So it was good to see them, and I even saw some Muslim brothers there. They were there. They had the kufi on like you. They were at the thing. So I did want to ask the question, but I didn't get a chance to because they only had time for a couple of questions. I wanted to say, well, has any of these imams given you all any mess, any group? I didn't get a chance to because they only took a couple of questions. And I didn't get a chance to, but that'd have been my questions, like what did your imams giving you? So for people who don't know who imams are, they would be like your minister or your reverend. And I wanted to see if they were getting any flack from them, because you know how that goes. But yeah, that was
We know how that go in certain circles.
certain circles. But yeah, that was fun.
In other circles, the man would be there with him.
Exactly, having a good time. You're supposed to have a good time, just do right. So this is the audience of the Black Heroes Matter panel. So that was the audience. So you could see it's well attended. A lot of African Americans there. But what one of the people said, David Walker and a couple other people, they said, they want that audience, but they also want, the European Americans to be at these things because it's been so hard to get the black superheroes in comics and on TV and so forth. The big thing has been, Black Panther, which is good because I think that they did a good job on it. But there's other superheroes that have been written about that we don't know anything about, that illustrators are writing about, drawing about, and then writers are writing, these fantastic stories, but you don't hear about them. And it's hard for them to break into the mainstream comics because they talk to the executives, and the executives want it to be a certain way, so forth and so on. You got to be a hood or whatever, something like that. But that was just the audience. So we'll go to the next picture here and see what we have. So this is David Walker, and he's been writing comics for a long time. I met him. That's where I saw this shirt somewhere. And so when he came to Seattle, he came to Langston Hughes for a little panel discussion, and he saw me with the shirt. He said, all right. And because that's what he was talking about there, that black heroes do matter. And he was just saying the same thing I just said earlier, that they try to talk to these executives, and it's like, they don't get it. They don't get it. So he said he'd been doing that for years. So they try to do their own things and so forth. So yeah, that's Mr. David Walker.
They don't get it or they don't want to get it.
I think it's both. Yeah, it's both. So yeah, that was that was a good panel. Yeah. So this is Marcus Williams. He is an illustrator, and he's done, and I'll try to show, I brought some of his collection here, just do paintings, but he's the illustrator. He draws a lot of things. He did some drawing on Killmonger in Black Panther. I brought that picture. And then he did one, if you remember the cartoon series Boondocks, he did one of a grown-up Huey. So I saw him, so I took a picture with him, and he signed the stuff and everything. So there's his picture of, he did a Killmonger, and that's Marcus Williams' illustration of Killmonger. So you see the work that goes into this. This stuff is very, intricate. It's
that's top flight professional.
Yeah,
just,
yeah. So there,
no doubt about it, man.
So there was. So now this is Huey in Boondocks. So I don't know. Yeah. So yeah. So
that's a grown-up Huey.
That's a grown-up Huey in Boondocks. So remember the series Boondocks, So Huey, I think where Huey got his name was from Huey P. Newton.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, because, he had some sense, and, he didn't go for a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, you can see the work that's done in this, man. So, yeah, I saw this, I said, man, I got to get this. I just can't let this go by. I've never seen a grown-up Huey, So we got it and everything. So, yeah, that was great. That was great. They're having a Comic-Con, and they have one in Seattle called the Emerald City, and that usually happens in March. So, it's not as big as the New York City one, but it's still
not
nice.
As big, but yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be about something. Man.
Yeah, it's about something. So this is with Run DMC was there. I didn't know he was going to be there. Maybe if I'd went online and checked a little bit more, or checked the book. I didn't know. I was just walking up the artist aisle. There he was. So I just took a picture. So I guess he has a comic book too. Yeah. He says Daryl makes comics. DMC he has on there. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it now. I really actually looked at that now. So we were walking by. So I just took a bunch of pictures, of him. But yeah, it was So you see, they got all kind of people there, all kind of things going on. You got, TV stars, you got, comic book writers and people dressing as comic book. So, if you go there with, kind of knowing what you want to do, it's a lot of fun. It takes a little strategy, and then sometimes you just get lucky. Like I just got lucky, But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So let me ask you a question. You got some more pictures, or do you want to go to these first 3 questions here?
Or
do another show?
I don't know if we should do another show because we got about 2 minutes. Let's just let me just tell you, where do I want to go? So we talked about Malcolm X. We talked about Masjid. Me and my son, Jamal, we went to Juma. That was interesting because it's Friday. I was trying to figure out how we're going to get to Juma because where I wanted to go was Malcolm Shabazz, but you had to catch the subway and there was a little ways to get there, so forth. So I just went and Googled, a masjid. So then I had this address. So we walked, and so then we walk and we're near Madison Square Garden. So I see the address, but I'm saying, man, what's behind this door? So it's the door. It's kind of like, when we got inside, it's almost kind of like a loading dock, but then there was some space. So they had all these food carts there from people who were food vendors, cab drivers were there, people who worked for the transit, there for Jumu'ah prayer, kind of like in an open area, but almost like it was like a loading dock. And there was food carts over here at the side of people. So we went to the Jumu'ah there. And it was interesting, it was kind of like my son had told me, he said, Dad, I don't know, I'm going to let you go through that door first because you didn't know what to expect. But it served a purpose. It was close. Like I said, the cab drivers came, food vendors came there, people who worked for the subway. And it was convenient, but it was different. And they didn't have rugs down. They had like a vinyl flooring. So when I came in there and walked in there, I didn't realize I was walking where the people put their head down. And I kind of got that look, because I'm looking for rugs. I'm saying, where are the rugs at? There wasn't no rugs, because it was just vinyl, which maybe kind of makes sense, because if you come in there muddy and everything off the street. So that was interesting. But I think we're almost out of time. I'm glad that my son asked me and my wife to go. We had a good time. And it was just fun. And you saw new things and kind of open up your horizons and stuff like that.
So for the sake of time, the next one will be in Seattle. When?
That's going to be in March of 2019.
At the Seattle Center?
It'll be at the Convention Center.
Convention Center. March of 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you haven't got your tickets now,
how much are they usually?
I ain't going through all that. But I mean, word to the wise, because a lot of stuff is sold out. So, you got to get stuff early. But yeah, it was fun. Thank you, Brother Benjamin.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
For sharing.
Thank you for our audience. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.